Well, look at that. I am live again. Hello. My name is Rowana. If you're watching this as a replay, it is Vlogtober day 27, and I'm going to demonstrate how to ink some of my fountain pens. So who is in the studio right now? It's kind of late. So, hey Deborah, hey Bree. A little late because we were trying to do, where we're experimenting with something and a new program. And it didn't quite work because you guys were able to see me and hear me, but I was not seeing anyone's comments or seeing anybody was on there. So sorry about that, you guys. Thank you for hanging in there. Hey Judith. Hi Robin. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I just wanted to go over, I know a couple of Vlogtobers before, we talked about fountain pens and the different types. Did you guys see that? Hey Laura, hey Amber. I hope you guys are having a great Saturday. Can you guys hear my bird? You made some great still frame expressions. Oh, great. We're so confused on what we're trying to do. So, yeah. Can you guys hear my bird? Need to get her quiet. Oh, you know what? It's because one of my doors are open. So, yep, that is talking. Really not stupid looking at all. I'm sure, right? So anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys a couple of Vlogtobers. We had talked about the different types of fountain pens. And I shared with you guys the different ones that I have. And we were a little bit, well, not we, but me, I was a little bit confused and did not know the terms for some of the filling systems because it's been a while since I've read up on anything fountain pen because I have enough of them, so I hadn't been buying any. So anyway, so I wanted to go over a couple of those. And first of all, let me see. Oh, someone had asked, I watched that, some of the questions, and someone had asked my Decimo that was white, and then this Decimo here, someone had commented that the white one looked bigger. And so I just wanted to just say no, they're the same size. The white one looks bigger because it's white, and it's kind of like, you know, when you wear your clothes and you want to look slim, you want to wear black or dark colors, right? So it's kind of the same type of thing. So the white's going to make it look a little bit bigger, and so that's why that white one looked bigger. And then someone else had also asked how to fill the Decimo. And so there's different ways of doing it, but the easiest way is with a cartridge that looks like this. So it is attached to the nib. But there's another system where it's basically a plastic one, and my white one has that, and you just fill it up with ink and then you put it back in. So the easiest one is this, because then you could just take it up, the ink. You could just take up the ink without having to get a syringe and fill it up, if that makes sense. And then someone commented about the nibs prone to drying. Yes, the nibs, depending on the point size, sometimes it clogs easier, and so it seems like it's dried up, right? Because it gets clogged because of the pen, the size of the nib. So sometimes it can get really dry like that. And it also depends on what type of ink you have. Not every pen works well with any ink. The combination, sometimes it makes a difference. And so you kind of have to just try it out. Sometimes you think, oh, something must be wrong with the pen, and that might not be the case. It might be that it just needs a different kind of ink. So that is one of the reasons why your pen can seem like it's messed up or it's too dry. Hey, Brittany. Okay, so then let's see. Someone else mentioned that they reuse the cartridges. It's Deborah. Yes, the cartridges can be reused. So for example, this one here has a, oops, not this one. Oh, here we go. This one here has a, that doesn't even work. What it is, okay, here, let me explain it to you. Different, Deborah. So, okay, I'll show it to you with this one here. The cartridges that you can purchase that is pre-inked, you usually can buy these. Oh, what's that? Oh, okay. You can usually buy these from the maker. I'm Deb, also known as Deborah J. So what you do with this is what they're talking about. This is the one that you could purchase a bunch of them, right? You love your fountain pens. Okay, so what you do with this is you just put it right in here, right? And then usually when you're done, you just take this and throw it away because you have more of them, right? So if you want to be economical about it, or you want to use a different color and try out a different color, as soon as you're done with this, you hang on to it. And what you do is you take one of these syringes and you put water in it and you flush it out. Okay, so once you flush it out and it's clean and all of that, then you could fill it with a different ink. So in essence, you're using the cartridges that are supposed to be disposable and reusing them so you could put different inks in them. I hope that makes sense. So that's what she was talking about. Deborah Clark was asking about that, or commenting how that's what she does with her pens. So let's see, what else did I want to touch on? Oh, Noodlers Ink. Like I said, I'm not an expert at these, but I have just heard, especially for vintage pens, if you have any vintage pens, you do not want to use the Noodlers Ink. And you've never thought of that, filling it that way, the cartridge. The reason why is a lot of the, well, I believe all of the older versions, the vintage ones, have a sack inside of them, a rubber sack, and the Noodlers Ink can chew that up, or it can corrode it. And so that's why they recommend that you don't use Noodlers Ink on vintage pens. On the newer pens, I think it's fine as long as you're cleaning it regularly and using it regularly. I mean, there's a lot of beautiful colors with Noodlers Ink. You just don't want to use it on the vintage. And one of the, I got a hold of a gentleman who fixes pens, because I purchased a pen and I don't know what's wrong with it. It's not working. The piston isn't working on it. And so I sent it to, I'm going to send it to him. Well, he gave a contract, and on the contract it says that he gives you a year warranty with his work. But the problem is, something just went up. But the problem is that if you use Noodlers Ink, that's null and void. So there must be really something to that. If the restorers are saying that, you know, that they won't warranty their work if you put a Noodlers Ink inside of it. So that's that. But there are beautiful colors. I'm not saying anything bad about Noodlers Ink. I just would not use it on a vintage. I do use some of the Noodlers Ink on my newer pens, and I've never had any issues with it. So, okay, so that's that. And let me see, what else did I have written on here? Okay, so I showed you guys that I had the Estabrook pens, and interesting, never knew that, but I don't have any vintage pens yet. Okay, well, after this, you may end up with some vintage pens because I'm going to give you guys some resources. So let's see, the Estabrook. Wanted to show you guys. Remember the Estabrook, how we talked about you fill it with this little lever here, where you pull it and then it pulls down? Okay, so there is a rubber sac inside of it, and when you do that, it takes the ink up. So that is called a lever fill. I just wanted to clarify that because I couldn't remember the terms for it. So again, on the Esterbrookes, they are lever fills. And this is vintage, but they are making them now again, the newer versions, just so you know. And apparently you can use the with some modification, or they have little converters that will work with the old nibs. So that's good to know. And then the TWSBI, you guys are familiar with the TWSBI. Let me get one out. This one here. And I guess if using vintage pens, you should use more vintage ink than Noodlers. Okay, so on this one here, as you know, you use this up here to get the ink out. So you dip this in there and then you twist this and it goes up in there on a TWSBI. So that is called a piston filler, okay? And then there's the eye drop, if you guys are familiar with that. It is where a lot of times you want to eye drop pens that are the demonstrator pens, where you don't have, where you could see what it looks like. I mean, you can put a converter in here, it'll work just fine. But the beauty of these types of pens is it's clear, so you can see the ink inside of it. Okay, and so that would be eye dropped when you put it right into the barrel. That's eye drop. And then there's another one, which is a new pen that I just got, and I'm going to show you guys. And it's this one here. This is a Schaefer, and this is gray. It's a beautiful pen. And here, this one is what do they call this? Touchdown. It's the touchdown filling system. And basically what you do is you pull it, you put it inside the ink, and then you close it up like that, and that gets the ink up there. I will show you more about this in a minute. So, are we clear on that? Do you guys have any questions or anything before I turn the camera down so we could, I could ink some of my pens here so I could demonstrate how to ink them? That way those who do not have these types of pens may be able to decide whether it's worth the time to ink them or not. Do you guys have any questions? Let me know now before I turn the camera down. No? Okay, no questions. You got a new pen too? Finally caved and purchased the Lamy 2000. Yeah, I got a new pen. I have two new pens, but the other one is not working. I've had that for about a month. I just haven't had a chance to fill it. And then when I finally did, something's not right with it, so I'm gonna have it restored. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and turn you guys around, okay? So I could show you. Sorry about this, don't get dizzy. Okay, not the very best view, but hey, we will work with what we can. Okay, so I need to really put these pens in the order that I wanted to put them in. This one goes with that one. This orange one goes with that one. And this one goes with this one. Okay, so my paper towel's missing. Hang on, I have to go get paper towels. Sorry, guys. So yeah, this is the beauty of live. Of a live broadcast. So feel free to comment, let me know If you have any questions, comments, or complaints. Okay, so let's start out. Wait, this one goes with this one. I'm gonna use this one. Let's start out with this. This is a Visconti. And I might have already talked about this on the other Vlogtober, but I'll say it again just in case you did not get to see it. Actually, no, you didn't get to see the Visconti because I didn't have it out. Okay, this is a Visconti, and I purchased this over in Amsterdam. And it was something that I wanted to remember the place by. And so in Amsterdam, the Rembrandt house is there in his studio. And so I went there, and so I wanted to purchase a pen specifically called the Rembrandt, and that's this orange one. Okay, and so this is a really nice pen, and this has a nice clip here. And the nice thing about this pen is that it is magnetic. See that? It's magnetic. So we're going to fill this with a turquoise, I call it turquoise type of a color, which is the CU, and it's the what are those called? Anyway, here we go. Words are escaping me again. But anyway, so this is kind of like a turquoise. I know Robin's favorite color is a turquoise. Right, Robin? Are you still with us here? So this has, like I said before, I can use one of these for quick filling. This is the cartridge that you can purchase, specifically Visconti ink. Or use one of these, which is a converter. Organic Studio, thank you. Thank you for your help. Okay, so I'm going to open this up. Oh, you know what? I'm going to shake it. And you just basically take it, not a pretty color, and you dip it in there, making sure that it's submerged, and then you just bring up the color carefully. There you go. See? Okay, but let me grab, whoa. Let me grab. Because I don't like to waste the ink. Taking that color. And I'm just going to move that off to the side carefully. I'm just going to take it and pre-ink one of my pages to get as much of that off as I can. And then you wipe it down. And then to put it inside, you just push this in. A little twist to make sure it's in there. I'm not sure if this is going to write right away. Let's see. Nope, it's not going to write right away. So sometimes what I do is I just squeeze a little bit. To kind of help it along. But we're going to leave that alone for now. I'm going to keep it facing down. Let me do it a little bit more. Sometimes the pens can work right away and sometimes it doesn't, especially the ones that are extra fine. So I'm going to keep this way for now. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and close these. I have some Organic Studio ink. Oh, they're beautiful. Okay, so that's that. Now, this is one of the more tedious type of inking, which are these ones where you fill the barrel. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to have a silicone grease. It has to be silicone, but as you can see, you can buy it from Ace Hardware, and it shows on here it's waterproof. And also Goulet pens and Jet pens and all those companies have this silicone grease. Okay, so you could get that from them. So what you want to do is take a Q-tip. First of all, you want to grease the part that has the threading on, that hits the threading on this piece here. Can you see that? It's right here. It's hard to see, isn't it? Hi, Lori. So I'm sorry if you can't really see. Oh, you're just in time. So you could learn how to fill your new pen that's coming, an eye drop. So this right here has threading, which goes on this piece here, okay, which seals it. So you want to get some silicone on that part of it. Here, let me get more lighting in here so I can see what I'm doing. You don't need to put too much. You just need to go around it. And then you put this back. Oops, wrong way. And that seals it so that when ink won't go through it. Okay. And then here, back to this one actually. See, there's thread here again, right? So you want to put a little bit of silicone grease on that. So that when you put this on there, it'll get the grease where this is right here, the threading here. Hope that's making sense. We're gonna put orange in it, and this is a Franklin Christoph pen, this one here. Don't ask me which model it is. I don't remember, but I could put that below later. But this is ink from 2017, and it's orange, which is perfect for Halloween and Thanksgiving. So I'm taking a syringe like this, and I'm just going to take some off of here and then get it inside this. I'm not going to fill it up to the top. Okay, so we had put the, oh, this is the lid. We had put the grease around here, right? So now you just put it in there. And it will have a tight seal. So what's so beautiful about these pens, you probably can't see it all that great because of the lighting. It's dark right now, but it's orange in there, and so you could see it going around. Isn't that pretty? That's what I love about those demonstrator pens. I close these right away because you don't want to accidentally spill. This may not work right away. I actually have not tested some of these. I haven't used this one in a while, so I know that I had some nibs that needs to be repaired, so we'll see if this is one of them. Anyway, it's easy enough to get another nib and put it on here. This one doesn't work, but I'm gonna, again, keep this down. And we'll try them at the end. Now I have this right here, so I think I showed you guys this the other day. Ooh, look at that. I'm just cleaning this off to the side here. There you go. Okay, now I really want to see, and let's see, which one is this? Okay, we've already seen how this works, so I'm not going to try it on this one. We already know how to use that one. I will ink that after I'm off of here, but I'm going to use this color. I had talked about this, the Irashizuku in Idaho. It's kind of a light color, and so when I put a fine point, it really wasn't showing up. And so this, I decided, and I haven't used it since, and so I decided I'm going to put it on this one, which is a broad nib. So that it will show up better. So I will put that aside, so we don't need to do that one. This one here is the same thing, right? Well, kind of. Okay, we can do this one. So with this one, I'm going to use Ancient Copper, which is one of my favorite diamine colors because of the shadowing that it makes. And with this, you just dunk it and make sure you're dunking it all the way here because the hole is about right here, just to make sure that you're getting it in there. And again, you just take it up like so. I'm sorry if you guys had questions and I didn't answer. I wasn't looking over there. Let's see that, there's all that. And then with this, there is a little notch here that you have to match this notch. This is the Decimo, Pilot Decimo. That one wrote quickly. Do any of you have vintage pens? Okay, this one is Sailor ink, and this is like a blue-black. I really like this color. Anyone have any vintage pens? Anyone want to purchase a vintage pen? Okay, again, this is what's called a touchdown filling system, and this is a Schaefer, and this is vintage. So we want to take off the lid. Oh, good. Oh, Joe, what kind of pens do you have? So I'm just going to go ahead and open this. This is the first time I'm filling this, you guys, so hopefully it works. Well, stay tuned. I'm going to give you some resources that I trust. So again, you just keep it down in here, and then you just go. Do you have some, Jackie? What kind do you have? Look at that pretty color. So this Schaefer here is supposed to look like a dolphin. You guys see it? Some people do not like this pen. They think it's ugly. I think it's very beautiful. And this pen actually is 14 karat gold. It's a 14 karat gold nib, and it is a an extra fine tip. I bought this used, of course. This way too, you get to see what the color looks like. Swipe that down. And then I just close this up. I like to cap my pens. So this is really nice. I would like to purchase one. I'm waiting for the pen show. This is really nice because it's light. It's not top heavy. Is that beautiful? Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. I actually wrote with it because the seller had some ink in it, but very little, and I just wrote with it really quick. But wow, this feels great. Because this is a vintage pen, I have to be careful with it as far as the ink too. So I don't take any chances. I will only use really good inks. And Sailor is an excellent ink. Works well with it. Isn't that gorgeous? My gosh, it feels so good to write, you guys. I'm gonna get it off now so I can just write. Just kidding. Did you find your seller online? Yes, I will share that in a minute. Maybe I shouldn't. Then you guys are going to take up all the vintage pens and now I won't be able to buy any. Kidding. I actually have enough vintage pens, but I do love vintage pens. Okay, so those are the ones I think I wanted to show you guys. Oh, let me go ahead and show you this one. Okay, it looks like it's, I think I rinsed this, so it looks like there might be some wetness. Yes, it is. Yes, it is what? Gorgeous. Yeah, it's kind of clouding. I dropped this. One of the reasons, even though it's a demonstrator pen, you may not really be able to see the ink that much because it has a little bit of a coloring on it. I still eye dropped it because when you eye drop it, you get a lot more ink inside of it, so you won't have to redo it, re-ink it right away. That's one reason you eye drop it. But the other reason is so that you can show off the color. Again, a little hint, it's just so much nicer when there is a clip on a pen. Okay, so okay. This one I believe is a filler type, just like the ones with the, what is that one brand? It's German. I don't have any of them. They come in all these different colors. They're pretty inexpensive. Anyway, I think that's what they use for their filling system. So what I do is so this one works with this particular one. I believe this is a 20. Again, I will tell you which ones these pens are for sure. So I'm gonna, I just wanna make sure that this isn't having, Kaweco, yes, thank you. Judith, you are on top of your fountain pens. Judith, do you have any vintage ones? I'm sorry if you commented and I didn't notice it. What did I want in this one? Wow, what have I not used? Oh, I know what I wanted in this one. It's a new one. It's a sample one. It's not in here. But I'm just going to show you what you guys need to do. Again, is you just take up some ink and then you put it in here. Make sure you don't puncture it because this is plastic. And then you just fill it up. And then you probably want to fill it up to like maybe right there. And then screw it back on. I can't find that one now that I wanted to try in this. So we'll just skip that for now. And then you just put it in like that. Okay. How do you store your inks? I put them in a cupboard in my studio. Not yet, but I'm investigating. Oh, Judith, you're gonna love vintage pens. You guys are all gonna love vintage pens. And make sure if you purchase from one of these guys, you let them know I sent you to them. And also please post it or at least DM me and let me know what you end up purchasing. So 'cause it's fun. Okay. So let's see, I'm gonna take those other two pens. Did you guys see the last table talk when we were talking about music nibs? And that Babette didn't like music nibs. Anyway, I wanted to show you what that looks like, okay? In case you're curious. It's really nice for headings. See how thick that is? Or how wide that is? My go-to pens, go-to nibs, personally, are fine and stub nibs. Or sometimes they're called broad. Or sometimes they're different names. It just depends on the company sometimes. They'll call it stub or they'll call it broad, etc., etc. So those are my go-to whenever I'm not sure what kind of nib I want on a pen, I will go for one of those. The broad gives a shadowing, like I said, and shadowing is when you're writing and it gets light and dark. Some inks are made to do that. And so it works better on the ones that are a little bit broader nibbed. So this is a music nib. See how it's thick and thin? But you have to hold it at a particular angle. See, thick, thin. So that's a music nib. What I forgot to tell you guys is this right here. This new one that I have. It's Schaefer. What is the actual name of this? It's a Schaefer 800 model. And what's neat about this is you can also write with it this way. And you get a thinner. Is that cool? You can't do that to all pens. So there you have it. Okay, before I give you guys information, is there anything else I can, you know, I don't think it's called a snorkel. Yeah, in fact, it's not. And I think the snorkel, when you, there's a little lever that comes out and then goes back in when you fill it. That's how you can tell it's a snorkel. And it didn't do that. So I know that, well, when you go to this guy's on, when I share with you who it is and you look at it, you'll see this pen there and then you could read about it. But before I give you all that information, do you guys have any questions for me? Oh, I wanted to try those two pens, see if they are ready to go. Actually, I suspect that this nib is one of the ones that needs repair. So I'm going to put that aside because I'm probably going to put a different nib in it after I get off here. I'm sorry, I wasn't even looking. I asked for comments if you have any questions, and yet I'm not looking. Go ahead if you have any questions. Okay, this one is starting to go. You do also know that if you use fountain pens and you use it on paper that has a lot of pulp to it, that it can ruin your nib, right? So you kind of need to be careful not to use cheap paper with the fountain pens. This needs to flow a little bit better. It's not quite ready. Okay, no questions? All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the different sources right now. And these guys are on Instagram. First of all, the one I mentioned to you guys, this one here that was specifically made for me, and I asked him to design something for me that's with a red, white, and blue because it was around the same time that I launched Americana Folio or Traveler's Notebook. And this company is called, he is on Instagram, and his name is this one right here. So you guys want to write that down? It's Woodshed Pen Co. So that's WOODSHEDPENCO. Okay, got that? And then right now, I know for a fact, this girl has some pens that she is selling. I talked about last week, the first fountain pen Vlogtober that I did. I talked about how I purchased, my very first purchases were used Franklin Christophs. I bought that from her. And this is Lori Garbrandt. So it's LORI.GARBRANDT. She was wonderful to work with. I had a lot of questions. I was brand new at it. She answered them. I know right now she has a beautiful, beautiful Decimo in red. And I was so tempted to purchase that, but I already have two. And so, yeah, she's got some beautiful other brands that I just can vouch for her. She was great to work with, and what she answered my questions and what she sold me, what I received was exactly what she sold me. And so that's really good. That's, you know, that's important. And the prices for some of these used ones are not really that much less, but I will tell you, if you can trust the person, it's a lot better than trying to purchase for a lot less price or through eBay. You have to kind of know what you're looking for, and look at one when we're talking about eBay here. So, I mean, I've purchased some pens through eBay and I've had very great luck with them, but that's not always the case for some people. But she's on Instagram, Lori Garbrandt. And then the vintage pens, this is the first time I've purchased from this gentleman with this pen right here. And his is called Redeem Pens, REDEEMPENS. He's got a slew of them on there, and some of them, it doesn't look like they're sold or anything, so you might want to check that out. And I will just tell you, just to give you a little bit of an information on this pen, and if you look at his site, it's really cool because he's got drawings. He takes the pen that he restores and he will draw with it, and then you'll get to see what it looks like. So I definitely, this is the first pen that I purchased from him. I will definitely go back to him because this pen is superb. And this cost, what was it? I think about, just to give you a little bit of a ballpark, it's a Schaefer. It costs $125. That is very reasonable considering that that I can trust somebody like that, and I don't have to worry about what I'm going to get, because maybe you can get this for $80 elsewhere, but unless you know what you're looking at and you're familiar with the person or they have really good ratings on eBay, I would rather pay $125 and not be bummed to get something that is not worthy of what I paid, even if it was inexpensive. You know what I mean? And so I would suggest that. Also, and this is his business card. If you guys want to screen shoot it, if you can see it. I don't know if it's clear enough. So these guys are all on Instagram. Okay. Now I'm telling you guys these names because these are people I trust. These are people I've purchased from. I wouldn't give you, if I gave you a name and I've never purchased from them, but maybe I've heard of them, I will let you know that. But these ones I really trust. And then if you guys are interested, of course, there is the pen show. This one in Los Angeles is going to happen on February 14th through 17th. And so you want to, you might want to go online and find them and see where they're going to be, because they are in different areas. Like I know they go to Seattle. There are all kinds of different places that they go to. This is a really good place to find vintage pens and also brand new pens. A lot of the companies, pen companies like Van Ness, I believe Goulet goes to these. I'm pretty sure. All those companies, Anderson's, pens, they all go to those. All very friendly, and you will just see all sorts of pens, and then you could try them out there as well. And so that's a cool thing about it. So anyway, do you guys have any questions or anything? Let me put this up again just so you guys can see it. Any questions? Did you guys learn? Was it worth waiting for? I'm so sorry. There was such a mishap earlier. Okay, well, if you guys don't have any questions or anything or any comments, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. It's almost 9 o'clock here in California, Southern California time. And you're welcome. Guys, don't forget, let me know if you end up purchasing from these guys. I want to see the pens. And let them know I sent you to them. Because some of these guys too, you know, they are very much into pens, but they don't know a whole lot in the planning or journaling world, as far as that's not the kind of people they follow. So I think it would be kind of cool if they realize that you know, their names are getting out there in our community. You're welcome, Joe. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out, you guys. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and go. I hope you guys have a great Sunday tomorrow. Hey, Deborah, I talked about you. Were you here the whole time? Anyway, you might have to replay then. So tomorrow's my pop-up. Really briefly, I'm doing really well. My knee is great. I actually don't need a crutch anymore, but I am trying to be good, and I'm still trying to use it because I was told by the surgeon himself to make sure I use the crutch up until he sees me again, which is next week. And so, yeah, but I'm doing great. Never experienced any pain at all. And so, well, except for last night, actually, I woke up in the middle of the night with foot cramps, but it had nothing to do with the surgery. And so anyway, so thank you for all those who have, what's a pop-up? Oh, a pop-up is basically where they just bring, like, they'll have a get-together and they'll invite different merchants and they just bring all their goods there, whatever. Some stores will do this. Like for instance, a small boutique store might have a pop-up. What is your top favorite vintage pen? Oh, hang on. So they might have a pop-up and they'll invite somebody to come in. Let's say it's a clothing store and they'll invite someone who makes jewelry and they'll say, hey, if you want to come and do a pop-up show, and then they go in there and then they pay a little fee or what have you. I don't know, what depends on what their agreement is, and then they get to sell whatever it is that they have, and so then they leave after that. So it's not like you have to have a store. You can actually go to different place pop-ups if they have those, if they open that up to people. So it's really cool. This one is a whole event in Redlands, and so there's going to be a bunch of vendors everywhere, and honestly, this is probably my first time doing this particular one, and I've done one during Christmas, and unless people really know what they're looking at and what they're into, the journaling and all that, you know, it's just really fun to be there, but it's not necessarily a place where you're going to sell a lot of things, specifically in this industry, because a lot of people would have to kind of know about it. But it's just fun to be part of the community, to get to know people and get to meet people. It's just, I find that it's fun. I like it. So anyway, my favorite vintage pen outside of this one right here, because this is very much a beautiful pen that I'm going to like. Let me, you know, I have that red maroon one, which I really like a lot too, and it is a Schaefer, but the only thing with that is that it's medium, and I like it sometimes but to write with, but not all the time. See, these are both Schaefer. See the difference in size? And then this one has that white dot. I don't know which one it is, but let me show you what it looks like. Wait, I just pull on this. That also kind of looks like a dolphin. There's something about vintage pens, but I'll show you my other favorite. Which is this one. And this was an eBay purchase. And I went on a limb and purchased this. It's a Pelican. It is a gorgeous pen. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to ink this. I'm saving this for Christmas. That's when I'm going to ink this. I just love even just the way this looks. It's beautiful. So, and I also like the Estabrooks, especially that one double nib. But yeah, so it's fun. And so I guess that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. I know for many of you, this is very late hour of the evening. But just thank you so much. And as usual, keep on documenting life as it happens. And we'll see you tomorrow. Oh, I'm probably going to do a live broadcast over there at the pop-up so you guys can get to see what it looks like. So talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.